Hi there, I am heading out to do a late winter cottonwood bud forage session, and I thought I would share with you my tips for having a good harvest session. All right, tip number one is bring the container with you that you're gonna put the buds in. You can actually see here on this jar, that's actually some old resin. It does stick to it, so if you're gonna infuse them in oil or something like that, putting them in a plastic bag, you'll lose some of that resin. It'll get stuck to the plastic bag. So if you put it in the jar, at least the resin will stick to the side of the jar and increase your chance of getting it into the oil. Next one is, once you get ready to start your harvest and you start your harvest, pick one hand and stick with that hand the entire time. I'm obviously holding my phone in order to record this, so I am right-handed and I'm going to pick my left hand to harvest, so that's the only hand that gets sticky, and then I won't get, hopefully, resin all over my phone. Another tip is to make sure that you know your tree. I'll show you a couple of quick identifying things. So one quick thing to know is that they frequently have these knobby knuckles. That's what I think of them as. You can see that more in the right-hand one on the branches. The tips are oftentimes like kind of a golden color, and then also have some red on them. If you smell them, you'll know right away that you have cottonwood. Another key feature is the bark. It's oftentimes more gray. This is kind of like a brownish green because this is on the north side, and so all of the moss and everything is grown here, some algae tainting it. And then they have these deep vertical furrows which just get deeper as the tree gets older. And it will be common that you'll have these little suckers coming off. And actually that's a really, really great place to get some buds. If it's winter time and you're eager to get out and get harvesting, but you're not quite sure, another thing to check is the detritus down at the base of the tree and look for leaves. So we have quite a mix of leaves here. These are maple, and right here though is a nice cottonwood. They're kind of almost bordering on heart-shaped leaves. And in the summertime, this side will be like a dark green, and this will be like a silvery pale green. All right, time to get harvesting, and then I'll share my last couple tips with you once I get back and with my buds. All right, I've got my jar with cottonwood buds and I'm headed back home. So I've got a couple more tips to share, and I'll share those with you when I get back home. So here's why I recommend to select one hand and stick with that, because it will get very sticky and then you'll get that all over your phone or whatever. So that's why I used my left hand, because I'm right-handed. Another quick tip is to carry hand sanitizer out in the field with you, or have it ready when you get home, and also paper towels. The stuff is really sticky, and alcohol is about the only thing that will really dissolve it. Soap and water is not going to work. And you can also just use straight up Everclear. I've done that before in the field as well. Paper towels, hand sanitizer, to get that stuff right off. Another quick tip is that if it's raining, like it was for me today, at minimum, leave the lid of your jar off before you put the oil in there, and make sure everything gets dried so there's no moisture, because you don't want your oil to go rancid. Even though cottonwood buds do have a lot of antimicrobial activity and properties, they can still impart that moisture into your oil, and things can still get moldy. Ask me how I know. The other thing you can do too is spread them out on a piece of wax paper like this, and oh, see there, it's very sticky, and let them dry for just a few hours, and then you can go ahead and put them back in your jar and add the oil.